Pillow behind you or something like that. So again, the only prop you'll need today will be your chair and maybe a pillow for support behind you, maybe underneath you. Sit well with your feet directly underneath your knees, right? And then check to see that your knees are coming straight out of your hip sockets. And that can help eliminate any grip through your hips. I want you to touch your fingertips together. Let your hands rest in your lap. Relax your shoulders and sit up nice and tall. Sometimes when we get way too relaxed, we experience a sinking sensation. And that is something that you want to avoid during your yoga practice. A chair practice or a mat practice or a meditation practice, whichever, that sinking feeling is to be avoided. We want to remain alert. So lift your chest a little bit, but without grip. Let your shoulders soften into place and let your arms kind of relax right where they are. Close your eyes or maybe look down at the ground. I want you to let your awareness drift to your fingers for just a moment, noticing how you have your fingertips touching. Notice the balance they create. It's not a big push, but it's not so light that you can't feel it. It's just enough so that you notice that your fingertips are touching. Now relax through your mouth and your jaw. And go ahead and place the tip of the tongue at top or bottom gum line. Let your breath flow, so keep your throat open. And pay attention to where in your body you notice all this lovely breathing. Through your chest, maybe in your abdomen, maybe you just notice it in your nose. Let your awareness be wherever it wants to rest so that you notice your breath right now. Now, the next time that you start your inhale, add a count to your breath to see how long it is. 1, 2, 3. And same thing with your exhale. Count how long your exhale is. Now here over the next few breaths, see if you can get your breathing rhythm to match in length. So the inhales and the exhales resting somewhere around a 4, 5, or 6 count, but even. Give up thinking and just focus on breathing and counting. Now keep that evenness of breath, but release the count. We're going to start off with the neck. The next time you exhale, let your right ear fall towards your right shoulder. And then you're going to point your nose down towards the ground. And then sweep your nose up towards the ceiling. So try that a few more times. Your head's just falling off to the right someplace. You're not forcing it in any certain position. If you're doing a slow nod of your head. Now, when your nose points down again, nod your head while looking off to the side. So you're going to have your gaze off to the right, or your nose pointing to the right. And just let yourself nod and see if your chin will tuck down towards your collarbone. And see if you can get your nose to point up towards the ceiling. And you want to work within your comfortable capacity. So you're not trying to force anything, but you are trying to get a little extra range of motion out of this. All right, when your chin comes back parallel to the ground, let your face turn forward and pause for a second. Relax your shoulders. Now wait for another exhale and let your left ear fall towards your left shoulder. Well, this could feel different already. So point your nose down towards the ground and then sweep your nose up towards the ceiling. Keep a slow, deep breath going with it. Now, when your nose points down towards the ground again, you're looking off to the left, start nodding your head this way. Now, again, I want you to see if your chin will tuck down towards your collarbone a bit. And see if your nose will point up towards the ceiling a bit. All right, now bring your chin back parallel to the ground and then bring your face forward. Pause for a second, let your shoulders relax. We're going to branch out into the shoulders, speaking of which. So weave your fingers together in front of you and bring your palms so they face your chest and your elbows are out wide. If it's all right, invert your palms. If that hurts, don't do it. Okay, when you inhale, you'll extend your arms straight out in front of you. And when you exhale, take your knuckles back in towards your chest. And then try it a couple more times. So again, if this inverting the palms hurts, it makes your wrists or your fingers really give you some business, then don't do that. Just keep your palms facing you. All right, when you inhale and extend your arms in front of you again, pause there for your exhale. And then when your inhale happens along, take your arms up overhead. And then when you exhale, you'll take your arms back in front of you, arms still extended. All right, try it again. Inhale, float those arms up. Arms don't have to be straight, just up. And exhale, bring them forward. Try a couple more times. Now, this can be one of those poses, especially if your shoulders are pretty tight already, that really makes it feel like you're putting a lot into them. And you're like, oh, Ashley, make it stop. Well, see if you can do two more. Last one. Now you're going to bring your arms back in front of your chest, but then I want you to raise your arms up in the air with an inhale. And then when you exhale, release your hands and let them come down by your sides, fingers pointing towards the ground. Pause for a second. Let your arms relax. Take in the sensations. Okay. Take your right hand and put it on your right thigh. Inhale your left arm up in the air and exhale, lean over to your right. Okay, keep your hips stable on the chair, keep your shoulders relaxed, and then turn to look up at your left arm so your body can roll open. Now this left arm might have a bend in it. See about straightening it and pointing your fingers straight up towards the ceiling. It might be a little different. When you inhale again, come to center, let your arm come down, fingers point down towards the ground, and let the right fingers point towards the ground too. Now put your left hand on your left thigh. And when you inhale, float your right arm up in the air. And when you exhale, lean over to your left. Keep your hips on the chair and look up at your right arm so you can roll your body open. See about straightening this right arm, pointing those fingertips straight up if you got a bend in it. When your inhale comes along, bring yourself back to center, and then exhale. Point all your fingers back down at the ground and pause and take in any sensations. Keep breathing. Okay, come forward in your chair a little bit. We're going to do a bit of seated cat-cow. Make sure you put your feet back underneath your knees. So hands to knees, you get this nice arching action when you inhale, open up. And then when you exhale, you round back and draw your chin in. Okay, so keep going forward and back. I'm going to turn sideways. Maybe you get a better idea of how my spine moves, and maybe yours can do a little something like that. Hands, here on your knees, are really kind of the stability of the pose, the hands in your seat. And so you get to kind of draw yourself forward, no force, and allow yourself to roll back, no pushing. Just see how this is working for you. Let's do two more, 2 inhales, 2 exhales. There is no need to rush through this. Next time you inhale, bring yourself right on into neutral spine and pause, just sitting up. Bring your fingertips together again and hang out for just a second. 1, 2, 3 breaths here. Now, this next little sequence is going to be a bunch of different twisting acts with the arms moving. Okay, and it's a very functional sequence of events. All right. So take your left palm and make it come up on your left leg. And we're going to circle, we're going to do some gesturing with the right hand. Okay, so when you inhale, open up with your right arm and sweep it down towards the ground. You're going to kind of lean over and look down. And then when you exhale, take your right hand back to your knee, your body comes back. Do that again. So inhale, open up, you kind of lean over a bit and gesture down to the ground. And exhale, bring your hand back to your knee and come back to center. Would you try this a few more times? This might seem like one of the most boring moves you'd ever make. But this is something that we've really got to be able to keep as we start, wrapping up those birthdays. That ability to lean over, reach for something, and come back successfully. Very important. How often do you drop something on the ground? More than you like, right? Okay, so now we're going to take the arm parallel to the ground in a twist. So take the arm out, shoulder height, open up, twist, watch your thumb, and exhale, take your hand back to your knee. And then do that a few more times. Now, it's not a big crank and twist. It's more or less kind of like, oh, yeah, that's over there. And you just point. The breath gets to guide the way. That's the fun part. I'm going to call 2 more right here. So with this last one, your hand comes back to your knee, but now you're going to gesture up towards the ceiling. So when you inhale, put your fingers up towards the ceiling and look up. And exhale, make your way back. Hand down, look down. Yeah, so the head gets to follow the hand. Now, of course, you can keep your eyes closed for this. It could be a lovely internal experience. But you want the movement to continue to happen through the whole body. Let's go ahead and do 2 more. Open and close. Last one. When your hand comes back to your knee, I want you to bring your fingertips together, let your hands rest in your lap and pause for a second. Take in your right side. Anything that you're experiencing, just take it all in. Okay, let's switch over. So letting the right palm come up on the right leg here. And here we go, gesturing towards the ground with the left side. So inhale, open up, kind of point down towards the ground. And then you're going to come back. And then try it a couple more times. At some point, when you take up a yoga practice in earnest, doesn't matter if it's on the chair or on a mat or just on a cushion, you will notice that this starts to creep out into your life someplace. You'll be able to reach something up high, or maybe you can squat down and get something down low. And all of a sudden you're like, man, I'm really glad I practiced yoga. These moves help with that. Do 2 more. All right, last one. And then the arm comes parallel to the ground. Again, following the hand with your face. Open up and come back. All right, a couple more. Okay, so now it's gesturing up towards the ceiling. Inhale, point up. Oh, what's up there? Exhale, come on back. About 2 more like this. Of course, when you're done with both, bring your hands back so your fingertips touch. And pause and take in this left side now. Okay, blink open the eyes, and we're going to stand up. So there's a process to this that I'd like you to go through. Put your feet underneath you. So tuck them back under a little bit and take your hands to your knees. We're going to hover over the chair for a second. So lean forward, lift yourself up a few inches, and then pull your belly in so you get this connection right here through the center. You're just kind of staring down at the ground and going, oh, lifted. Great. Relax your shoulders. And then go ahead and stand up. Wiggle if you want to. All right, come in beside your chair. You can either face the front of it or the side. We're going to bend over and put our hands on the seat. So with your feet underneath you, not too far away from that chair. And over and put your hands on the seat of the chair. Now keep your nice breathing going on here. And if you're all rounded through your low back, I want you to kind of straighten out and send your tailbone up towards the sky a little bit. Keep that connection with the belly pulled up towards the spine. Now, as you breathe, go ahead and float your right leg up off the floor back there behind you. Okay, so stay here. And then if you want, slide your left fingertips towards the edge of the chair. And then maybe your left hand is going to come up. It doesn't have to. That's way too wobbly or makes your hip hurt or something like that. Don't do it. You could also just, if your shoulder hurts, just tuck your arm in. Now keep the leg up in the air, but take your hand down. Flex your right foot and curl your heel in towards your seat. A little hamstring curl here. Hopefully it doesn't cramp. Extend the leg, and feet come back together. Right, notice how it feels to bring the weight back on both feet there. Okay, still keep that connection with the low belly, keep the breath flowing, and float your left leg up back behind you. Put a little flex. Now pause for a minute and check in with your sea legs and decide if you're gonna let that right hand float forward. Maybe the fingertips just touch the edge of the chair to kind of lighten up. Maybe you lift your arm up all the way. If you're wobbling, you're doing it exactly right. Now keep the leg lifted, but bring the hand back down. And again, you got a really good flex in this left foot. Draw the heel up close to the seat for a little hamstring curl. You're going to go ahead and extend your leg and then bring the feet back together. All right, now put a little bend in your knees and roll on up to standing. Now, I want you to put the feet behind your chair. You're going to hold on to it. And some more of those functional moves that I like so much. We're going to kind of do a little bit of advanced step things side to side. We're going to take it in little phases. So holding on to your chair here. When you inhale, let your right leg come out to the side, and exhale, put your foot back down, and then do the other side. So inhale, take your left leg out, and exhale, bring it back. And try this a couple of more times. Now, I want you to avoid just a big swinging action. Now, control is a yoga curse word, but I want you to have a little bit of control over your leg as you lift and lower it instead of letting it swing. Let's go ahead and do one more each side with that in mind, and then we're going to add on as promised. We're going to do a bit of a curtsy. So take that right leg out to the side, but then take it behind your left, tuck your toes under and bend your knees and hips and squat down a bit. And then you come back up and extend the leg and bring the foot back together, and then switch sides. Left leg comes out, take it behind the right, tuck those toes under, see if you can squat down a little bit, and then leg comes back out and feet come back together. All right, so keep doing that. You might notice that you're getting into some interesting parts of your joints, or maybe your muscles are being asked to move in a way that they typically don't get to. Now that's kind of what makes it functional. For yoga to be really effective, we need to go ahead and go just outside of our normal range of motion. That way, the normal range of motion is always available. So let's do one more each side with all that in mind. It's like, okay, I don't do this often. You know, I don't curtsy. So this is interesting. And then bring your feet back together and pause. Notice how things feel. And we're going to change that into something that's a little stronger. So you're going to lift your right leg out to the side, step it out, and bend your knees. Knees and toes go forward. And then straighten back up, bring the foot back together, and do the other side. Leg out, step out wide, bend your knees, take a squat down. Come back up, leg up, back in. Other way. Got to get to toy with your balance a little bit here too. That's why we have the chair. Let's do one more on the right and one more on the left. And when both feet come back together, I want you to just pause for a moment. Take in any interesting sensations. Take in that amazing breathing you're doing. Okay. From this position, keep holding on to your chair. It's going to lift and lower on the toes, but we're going to bend at the hips again. So when you inhale, come up on your toes as high as they'll let you go. And then when you exhale, put your heels on the ground, but bend your knees and your hips and push your backside back behind you. And then try it again. So lift up, come up tall. Then exhale, heels down, bend everything and push the tush back. Press more. Really giving the feet some attention here. Oh, those poor little feet, all the way down there, so far from all the action up top, right? So very important. It's like tires on your car. It's the only thing that touches the ground. You may as well take care of it. And two more. Lifting up. And when you're done with that, push your tush back one more time. And then come right on up to standing. So keeping the hands on the chair, the hands come kind of wide towards the edges of the chair. And we're going to walk back into an inverted L position. So feet are going to be under the hips. Maybe your head comes between your arms. It might not do that. Your shoulders might complain about that. But again, notice if you've rounded through your back. If you have, level that out by sending your tailbone up to the sky a little bit. Steady your breath, pull your knees up into your quads so your legs are really active here. You might be able to notice a nice extension through the side body, but we have done some pretty good side stretches, so maybe it's not very glaring. Okay, make your way back forward. Take a little pause for just a second. We're going to do a standing back bend real quick. So still holding onto the chair, forward. And then step your left toes to the ground back behind you. Now I want you to lean back a bit with your upper body. You're going to look up. Now don't lock out your right knee. Keep your left knee straight and lift your left foot up off the ground. Just enough to slide a piece of paper underneath it. You might even be able to feel your carpet tickle your toes still. All right, come back to center, back to those feet. Feel that. Even it out. Ooh. Let's try the other side. So you're still looking forward. And then you're going to put those right toes on the ground back behind you. Now lean back a little bit and look up. And then keep the right leg straight and lift it up. Now I'm hoping that you notice everything from the hip down to the heel. Go ahead and take on a little bit of action. All right, let's release it and notice that dissolving action. Now, one more time, we're going to walk back into that big L position, that inverted L position. Walk your heels back, put them underneath your hips. See about the head coming between the arms, maybe, maybe not. And then, of course, that tailbone goes up to the sky a little bit, so your back levels out. Pull your knees into your quads, get those legs nice and active. Your feet are really pushing into the ground. Breathing. And then make your way back forward. All right, we're going to come back around to the front of the chair. And just like we got out of the chair with that hovering action, we're going to do that. So coming back in front of your chair, put your feet underneath you, squat down a little bit and take your hands to your knees. And you're just going to hover your tush a few inches over your chair. Make sure you got that connection through the middle here. So pull the belly and the low back together. Now, the whole point of this is to slowly descend into the chair instead of flop. And don't judge yourself if you still have to work on it. It's all okay. But slowly put your backside right on that chair and actually sit down. Oh, okay. Put your feet back underneath your knees. Bring your fingertips together in front of you and just take a little breath pause for a second. Notice how you feel. Now open the eyes if they're closed. Come forward towards the edge of your chair here. I want you to step your feet apart. We're going to do a little bit of warrior two in side angle. So make sure you're sitting well with your knees and your toes going in the same direction here. Give yourself a nice lift through your chest, float your arms out parallel to the ground, and then take a look to the right. Relax your shoulders down. Keep a good steady breath. Now take the right elbow to the right knee, spin that palm up, and then open up on this left side and take your left arm overhead. Keep your arm straight. And you can point it so that it's straight up and your palm is forward. You can kind of spin your palm down and take your arm alongside your head. It's up to you, but keep the elbow straight and avoid slouching into the right shoulder. When you inhale, come back up towards a warrior two here. Let the arms come out, but you're going to look left this time. Check in with the lift through the chest, but the relaxing through the shoulders. Now transition into that side angle by taking elbow to knee, palm is up. And then as you lean over, you take this right arm up in space. Again, the palm can face forward or you can bring it alongside your head so your palm spins down. But then you look up to the right as long as it doesn't hurt your neck. When you inhale again, come on up to neutral. Just let your arms come down and face forward here for a second, hands to knees. We're going to do those two poses again, but we're going to rearrange the legs. If you liked it just how it is with the legs just like this, keep that. If you want to make this just a little more visible, okay, then we're going to go ahead and rearrange the legs. So I want you to turn sideways in your chair if you're going to play along. And you're going to keep your right knee bent and your foot on the ground. If you've got to slide something underneath your foot, then do that. Now, you can bend your knee, this one that's kind of free floating off the chair, or you can extend it really far back and put your foot flat on the ground so your toes point forward. I'm sorry, my blocks are in the way for that. But here you are in this warrior two leg stance. Float your arms out and take a look out over your right fingertips and relax your shoulders. Now you might put yourself into this position and go, oh, I'm not ready for this. You get to go back a notch or even two. Now, when you exhale, transition to that side angle pose. So elbow comes to the knee. And again, with this left arm, it might point straight up at the ceiling with the palm forward, or maybe the palm spins and your arm comes alongside your head at an angle. And then you look up, as long as that's okay. Now make your way back up and let your arms come down. Now help this straight leg come forward. And then let's set up for the other side. So spin around the other way. Pick whatever seat was working best for you. And again, you're going to want to have your left foot on the ground no matter what. And maybe your right knee just does like a little bend, or maybe you get this full extension action going on back behind you with your toes facing forward back there. Either way, lift the chest and let the arms come out parallel to the ground in a nice juicy warrior two. Take a look left. Remember that chest lifts, shoulders relax. Wait for an exhale and transition into that side angle pose. So elbow to knee, and either the arm straight up with palm facing forward, or it comes alongside your head with palm down. And see if you can rotate your head to look towards your arm or just past. When an inhale happens, go ahead and release. Come on up. Help this straight leg bend. Help everything come forward. It might not be pretty, but it could be effective. Yeah. So when you get to your seat, fingertips together one more time. It's kind of that act of balance. Notice how you feel here. Let's try a few neutralizing cat-cows. So you might come forward in your chair a little bit and let the breath move you through this forward and back action. Do two more, 2 inhales, 2 exhales. Of course, when you're done with both, let yourself inhale right up to neutral. Pause for just a little second. We're going to take a twist. We're going to take it in stages. So press your palms together in front of your body so your elbows wing out and you've got your arms engaged all of a sudden. So you're really meeting the palms, with equal measure. It's not a light touch. It's got some force to it without strain. Okay, keep the thumbs and the chin lined up with the center of the body and just twist over to your right. So you're not going to wind up going very far. That's where you should be, not very far. Just hang out. Okay, when you inhale, make your way back to center. Keep all this engagement with the arms and exhale on over to the left. Again, chin and thumbs are going to line straight right up there with that center line of the body. So you're really just not twisting far. If you want to feel really successful, you could cut your eyes all the way to the left and maybe you feel a little extra twist there. Okay, when you inhale, come back to center. When you exhale, twist over to your right again, but this time release your hands, take them down, and see about turning to look out over your shoulder and how much more you're getting out of this now. Relax your shoulders. Make sure you're not slouching. Your chin is parallel to the ground. Now keep your body in the twist and let an inhale turn your head only to look over your left shoulder. And then when you get there, tilt your head to the left and relax your shoulders. Now you can let your head hang wherever it fell, or you can move your head around a little bit. It's whatever works best for you, what you need today. When you inhale, bring your head up, look out over your right shoulder, stay there for a moment. Now press your palms back together in front of your body and then bring your head back so your chin lines up and then release the twist. Stay here in center, keep breathing, keep the press going. And when you exhale again, twist over to your left. Okay, so hopefully we're going to feel pretty good here. Release your hands and take a look out over the left shoulder. Settle into it. Now keep the body in the twist and let your inhale turn your head to look over your right shoulder now. Let your head tilt right. Let your shoulders relax. Find a little movement or a little stillness. Let an inhale float your head up. Look out over your left shoulder. Go ahead and stay there for a second. Now bring your palms back together in front of your body. Line the thumbs up there. Press the arms together. Bring the chin back to line up with the thumbs. And then let everything come back to center. And then release your hands, fingertips together, arms and hands rest in the lap. Pause for a little second and notice how you're feeling. Keep your slow, deep breath going. And go ahead and sit back in your chair and get as comfortable as you can in the chair that you have. One more time, find this nice neutral seat. So put the feet underneath the knees. The knees come out of the hip sockets. Bring your fingertips together, allowing your hands to rest in your lap. But the shoulders could still come underneath the shoulders could still come over the elbows as well as over the hips. And you just settle into an alert softness. We want to avoid that sinking action. We want to be in that nice twilight state for relaxation instead of too far afield so that it's almost a nap. So let your eyes close or look down, whatever you're most comfortable with. And keep all of your awareness with your body. And let awareness drift down to your feet. See about relaxing the soles of the feet and the toes. Then see if you can soften the tops of the feet. Slowly let awareness move up into your legs, through your ankles, then around your calves and your shins. Let those muscles relax. So you can soften your knee joints. That might help your thighs and hamstrings relax too. Soften through your hips and your backside. Now pay attention to your hands. Just noticing how the fingertips are touching. Let your hands relax, softening through your fingers and palms. Let awareness drift up your arms, through the forearms and the elbows, then into the upper arms and the shoulders. Let your shoulders soften so your arms can drape off your collarbones. Notice your back body, how you might be leaning against the chair or maybe free sitting. Let your shoulder blades slide down your back and see if you can release a layer of tension, but let those ribs keep you lifted. Let awareness drift around to heart center. So when you inhale, you can soften your heart. When you exhale, you can soften your body. And let awareness drift up into your face. I'm aware of the muscles around the ears and relax them. And relax through your jaw and your mouth. Let your cheeks soften. So your face is expressionless. Eyes are resting in the head. The forehead feels smooth. You can rub it if you want to. For a moment, pause here Breathe. Slow inhales, slow exhales. The mind won't settle. As you inhale, say to yourself, I am here now. And as you exhale, say, letting go. I'm here now, letting go. Let your next inhale come fully into your awareness. Let the exhale follow along behind. When you inhale again, take in just a little bit more. Start to stir the body a bit. And then exhale. For a moment, notice what you're sitting on. Parts of your body are touching the surface. And then notice the temperature in the room and how it feels on the skin. Take in the weight of the clothes on the body. As you breathe, notice if you smell something. Notice if there's a taste in your mouth. Tuning into those senses there, let's go ahead and wake up that sense of touch. Let your palms come together and gently rub your hands together. You might pick up the pace or a little bit more pressure if you want. We're just slowly stirring those senses, waking the body up. Here comes a sensation change. Take your hands to rub your upper arms. And then yet another sensation change. Take your hands to rub your cheeks. Let's wake up that sight sense. So take your hands to cover your eyes, leave your nose free, and then blink into your hands to let in some light. Now let your eyes close and bring your hands back together in front of your body. Thanks for coming today, everyone. Namaste.